All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to our VIPs in our Zoom room here as I am getting this set up to go live to our Facebook page. Let's see. So we're going to be doing this live every day for the next 2 weeks until April 15th. We might go longer. We decide to. I'm going to share this to my page. This is going to go to our author group. So this is a page that we have that is just for it's a private page that we offer to people who are not clients, so they have access to our trainings for free. And one of the things I want to reiterate, and let me just make sure, let me get everybody on live here. So those of you that are VIP, you're here with me in the Zoom call. And I'm going to be watching comments on our Facebook page as well. So let me just make sure we've got set up on the Facebook page. Okay, we're live. Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone on Facebook. Okay, I'm going to be watching for comments on my Facebook page, trying to multitask here. And at the same time, I'm going to be checking in with my Zoom people. So as I say something that resonates with you, I want y'all to put comments in the chat. So if you're VIP and you're in our Zoom room, you can put them in the chat there and I'll see them as well. And if you're on Facebook in our private group, you can make comments there. Even if you're watching the replay back, we can go back and look at your comments because I'm going to ask you questions for engagement. I want to find out where you are in your life, your business, your goals, and all these kinds of things, because the goal is, this is something to remember, we are now in second quarter of 2023. Oh my gosh. Now, what's going to happen in the next 90 days? The summer, travel, right? Maybe you want to make more money. Maybe you want to get in shape. Maybe you want to meet your person, your love of your life that you're supposed to meet, right? So you have these goals. Maybe you have a health goal. Maybe you have a financial goal. We talked to somebody the other day who worked as an IRS agent and wanted to replace her income and leave her job to go help people heal, right? Her husband had a stroke and she was a cancer survivor. And she said, listen, I've learned the hard way that stress kills, right? I want to prevent burnout. I want to help people not end up in the hospital like my husband or get cancer like myself. And I've got solutions. I know what we did wrong. What would it be worth it? I mean, how worth it would it be for you to be able to have these tools and these abilities to heal people, to prevent somebody from getting cancer because they're not so stressed out? And we know that all of us have cancerous cells in our body. Some people develop cancer, some people don't. Why is that? Don't you think that's interesting? In fact, I have someone very special sitting in my VIP named Richard, who is brand new. He literally just started coaching with us on Friday of last week, and he is 82 years young and has an amazing coaching program that I'm so excited to work with him. We're helping him write a book. We're helping him get his program out there in the next 90 days. So if you want to learn how to do these things, this is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, one of the most important things you can do in your life is share your story, right? When you meet someone on the street, when you talk to somebody and you say the number one question, if you really want to engage with people, whether it's in a Facebook group, whether you're at a party, whether you're at church, whether you're at a business event, no matter what it is, the number one most important thing that you can ask somebody is, hey, what's your story? How do I know this? Because I've talked to thousands of people. And let me tell you, those of you who need to make cash, and I want to see it in here in the chat, if you need to make some cash in the next 90 days or in the next 7 days, I'm going to show you how to do it. If you missed our training, okay, from 2 days ago, it was day one. I was on April Fool's Day, no fooling. I taught you 50 different ways to make money in the next 7 days. Okay, some of you saw that. How many of you were on that training? Sadie, I see you here. We were just talking about you in a good way. And that's the thing. We always talk about people in a good way, right? Because when you're negative, when you're angry, when you're fearful, what do? You freeze up. You go, you freeze up. Your arms go in tight. And you can't reach out. You can't reach for your dreams. You can't receive a gift that someone's trying to give you if you're like this. I feel like a pterodactyl. Like if you want to be able to be like this, like, woo! You want your arms to be open. You want your body to be open, your mind, your heart. But if you're open, then guess what? Other things can come in. So you have to be very careful that you are surrounding yourself with positive people, with positive influences. This is why people go to church, because they want to be around warm bodies of people that are trying to better their lives. This is why people join a community. Sadly, this is why people join a gang, right? Because they want to feel like they belong. So when you can join a community of positive people, I call it find your mafia of people who are doing what you want to do. You want to write a book, go plug in with a bunch of other authors. And I'll tell you, you're going to learn like that, how to write a book. Okay. Because you're not only going to learn about a process, but you're going to hear from people doing it in different stages. And you're going to learn a lot from their mistakes. Don't do it on your own, right? It's a collaboration. It's not something you do in isolation. Okay. So if you need to make cash in the next 90 days, do me a favor and put cash in the chat here on Facebook or in Zoom, put cash. Okay. And the reason I'm asking you all this is because I want to make sure I'm giving you the training that you really need. Okay. Now, how many of you have a goal? And I want you to put in the chat, what is your 90-day goal? What is the one thing that you could do that would be the most important thing to move the needle in your life or your business? Is it losing weight and being ready for the summer? Right. And let me tell you something. I struggled with this for a long time. My relationship with food, a lot of it came down to self-worth, because here's the deal. When you're in a relationship with somebody else, you can't control what that person does, or, you know, how they treat you, or any of those kinds of things. You can't control if they break up with you or they marry you. You don't have any control over that person. You don't have any control over your clients and whether they pay you or not, and your business and your income and your finances. You don't have a lot of control over those things, right? But what you do have control over is how you feel in your own skin. So those of you that want to be bikini ready body, and I don't care how old you are. Okay. I don't care how old you are. I'm 53 years old. I'm going to say 53 years young out of Richard has taught me that, right? 53 years young. Now, some of you might go 53. I thought you were 65. You know, somebody else might say, my son's friends, he's my teenager. They just made my day. All of his friends thought I was in my 30s. I love it. Now, I haven't had any work done. Like, I'm just going to be honest. And if I had, I don't see anything wrong with it. If you have an old car and you have to replace some parts to make it drive, I get that. Okay. But if you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live? Think about that. If you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live? Because you get one body and you get one life. And when you can prevent things from happening, you're going to be 100% healthier. And it's much easier to prevent something from going wrong than to try to treat it or cure it. Okay. So the point is, some of you want to get in perfect health in this quarter. Okay. Guess what's happening this quarter, this summer? How many people out there have been struggling with your weight or your body image, and you're so worried about how people look at you that you just wish you could look like the filter? You know how you go in and filter yourself with a smaller waist, and you start kind of trying to Photoshop yourself, and you just wish you really look like that? What's stopping you? Okay, those of you waiting for that perfect relationship, maybe your whole life you've been looking for that and ending up with the wrong people. How would you like to change that now in the next 90 days? Those of you who want to launch your business, expand and grow your business, or take your business to the next level, or write a book, your lifelong dream of writing a book. What if you could get that done this quarter? I want you to stop for a second, close your eyes, and imagine yourself having this dream, this goal, this thing that you thought would take forever, and knowing that you can make it happen in the next 90 days. Okay. How many of you want to write a book? Put in the chat, put book. Maybe you've already written a book and you want to write another book. Maybe you want to be a best-selling author. Let me tell you one thing. I will tell you, the most important thing you can do in your life is write a book, because you have experiences to share. You have stories, you have knowledge, you have things that people are valuing, right? In your mind, if you already know something, It might seem like boring to you, but it is fascinating to someone else who goes, wow, how'd you do that? And you're like, well, read my book. You don't have time to have an hour or 2 hour conversation with everyone you meet one-on-one. When you write a book, you are speaking one to many. So would you rather have one conversation 8 times a day with 8 different people if you're a doctor or an insurance agent or a solar person and you're going on doors, knocking on doors, trying to find clients, right? That's exhausting. Where you could be the expert, write a book. Guess what? You write a book, you're the expert, and people say, oh, they wrote the book on that. You write a book, you become a best-selling author, then what happens? You get featured on podcasts like Suzanne Sibilla, who's one of our authors, who, she developed a program for $5,000 to help the medical community. She has clients like Kaiser, and she already had some of these clients, okay? She got featured on Dr. Phil and in media all over the world. She's an expert. She's so busy right now, she doesn't even have time for more clients. So she's like, okay, this is time to raise my price. She's a mom, she's married, she's got a son, she has property with a tenant, she has a business, she's running all these things. But like just during the pandemic, just 3 years ago, she was like, I'm about to go under. But then she wrote her book, and guess what? She did it in a weekend. And what I want to talk to you about today is think about this. I'm giving you one example and one idea, but what I want all of you to do right now is put in that chat, what is your big goal in the next 90 days? What's the one thing that if you reach this goal, it's going to change everything in your life? Is it health, relationships, or money? Because those are the big 3. Okay. And because what happens in the next 90 days, the outcome of what happens in those 90 days is going to happen based on what you do in the next 7 days. And this is why I am coming in here and doing daily coaching, y'all, because I want you to get that success. And I can tell you that in our author program, we have a 100% success rate. We've got speakers coming to get certified with our company to learn how to be a speaker. If that's your goal, put it in the chat, speaker. Guys, there are 7,000 companies every single day, just in the US and Canada, looking for speakers. In my hometown, in Fresno, California, we have almost 1 million people in the whole Tri-Counties. We have 25 Rotary groups. You could literally speak 25 a day. Let me tell you something. My mentor, Tony Robbins, he was mentored by Jim Rohn. Okay, when he was 18 years old, he went to work for Jim Rohn. He had to come up with money to pay to go work for Jim Rohn. Jim said, you want to work for me? You got to pay to take my course, and then I'll hire you. He had to pay him to learn how to work for him. Now, some of you are like, that's nuts. I would never do that. Exactly, which is why you're broke and why you're still stuck in a job. Okay, because sometimes I had to pay my mentors. Guess what? None of my mentors gave me free advice. I spent probably $200,000 on coaching, masterminds, and mentors easily over the years. But it's generated millions of dollars for me. So if you don't have a mentor in your life and you want a mentor and you want to learn how to become a mentor, those are things we can help you with, right? You can fund your retirement by just taking the knowledge that you have and teaching somebody else how to do what you already know how to do. Remember, what to you may be basic, to someone else could be life-changing. Sadie, we talked about, Sadie, she's an IRS agent working in Canada. That's a respectful job. It's a lot of work. It may not be creative. It may not be fun. It may be hard at times. It may be stressful. But you know what? She has a formula for helping people heal. And 2 days ago, in our VIP training, we went through step by step how she can make $60,000 in the next 60 days. How many of you want to learn how to make 60K in the next 60 days? Whether you have a list or not, whether you have a business or not, whether you're starting from scratch. Now, if you already have a business, it's like adding fuel to the fire. You can do this a lot faster. You've got momentum already. Okay, that's not meant to discourage those of you who don't. What I'm trying to do is show you that right now is the best time in the history of the world to be an entrepreneur. It is easier, okay, write this down. It is easier to make $150,000 a year in your business than to find a job that's going to pay you $150K or more. Guys, I have clients who were making $500,000 a year, and they left their cushy job and got off their tushy cushy and came to work with us and could not see the outcome. They trusted the process. They trusted that all these other people were successful. And if, guess what? If one can do it, so can many. Why not me? That's your mantra. If one can do it, so can many. Why not me? Do you guys have mantras? I have lots of them. I would love to hear your mantras. If you have a mantra, like a daily mantra, a daily prayer, put it in the post. I mean, put it in the chat. I would love to see that. Because some of your mantras, if you don't have a mantra, believe me, you do. Some of your mantras are like, I don't have any money. I'm broke. I'm never going to find love. I'm a loser. Those are mantras. Because what you worry about is what holds you back. And think about it. The things you care about the most, your family, your finances, your health, are the same things that will hold you back if you're not focused on making them better, right? A bad relationship can ruin your business. Trust me, I know. I went through a horrible divorce that cost me over $100,000 in 4 years. Guys, I didn't know that marriage was that expensive. And do you know that almost 1 in 2 marriages, almost 50% of marriages end in divorce? And the average divorce costs about $100,000. I have some friends and clients that are married and they have a coaching course. And guess what? They coach people how to stay married. And they have a 99% success rate and only a 1% divorce rate. There is not a divorce attorney on the planet that can say that because they make money from you fighting and stretching it out. They get paid by the hour, guys. Be careful with that stuff. And I'm not dissing attorneys because we all need them. I love attorneys. Everyone in my family is an attorney. My dad's an attorney. And he's a very honorable man. And he teaches Sunday school. And he takes calls all hours of the night when people are in jail because he loves his clients and he wants to serve people. That's why he became an attorney, right? It's not just about making money. But the truth is, some family law attorneys, my brother's a family law attorney, it is so stressful. I mean, it can drive you to drink, listening to people fighting all the time. And guess what? The judge doesn't hold them accountable. No one holds them accountable. But if you can avoid all of that and figure out how to get what you want from your partner without having to get a divorce, without repeating patterns where you might break up with somebody and you have the same pattern over and over. What if you can solve that in the next 90 days? Because guess what, you guys? We have coaches and experts and mentors who have already done that. We have Nigel Smart, who's gone through 2 divorces, and he wrote a book and created a coaching called, Bouncing Back for Dads, going through divorce, how to protect your relationships. His book became the catalyst for his business. His book is what helped him start his business and grow and expand it and take it to the next level. He went to India with me a few months ago, and we spoke to 700,000 people live. Imagine what happens to your sphere of influence, your confidence when you get in front of that many people. And oh my gosh, you guys, I have the greatest picture of him. And he is standing there on that stage and going, like, it's the funniest. I love that picture. I've never seen him so powerful. And I've known him for 2 years now. And it's amazing. I just saw this transformation like that with him. And then he started plugging in to the other speakers because he came in person to this event. So and Sadie has seen that video. I remember she was in Vegas when I spoke at a conference last weekend at a Mensa conference. And, and it was funny. We had this technical thing where like we were in this conference room in Vegas and they couldn't get internet in the room. And so I was afraid to play the video. I didn't want it to mess up my slides because I had like this time we're starting and I couldn't play around with it. And they didn't have a tech person there. It was a long story, but anyways, I'm like, so I did my presentation first. I said, if we have time, I will play my video at the end. And I did. And Sadie was like, oh my gosh, goosebumps. And she said it worked out perfect to play your video at the end. So again, sometimes you plan something and you have these beautiful accidents that work out even better. I see JP is in the house here. Hi, JP. JP is also basically coming in and doing a speaker training with us. Richard's going to be there at the speaker and the author training. Guys, we have live events coming up in the next 90 days. And if you want help with some of this stuff, I'm going to show you how you can get our help. The number one most important thing is if you want to join VIP, it's only $30, $30. That's it. You want to hit some of these goals. We want to hold you accountable. You're going to get free training from me for the next 2 weeks. Whether you do anything else with us and we never see you again, this is what I want for you. Join VIP, it's $30. If you don't have $30, that's why you should join, because you definitely need to make some money in the next 7 days. You're going to get access to our training every day. You're going to get the recordings, the replays, and you're going to get to be in VIP where I can pocket coach you one-on-one, right? With this small group that we have here. So if you're already one of our clients, then you're already a VIP and you can come on over and join. If you need the link, email support@mydefiningmoments.com. Micah's in the house with us. Hey, Micah. So if someone could put that link for our VIP in the chat and in Facebook, for those of you who need it, you can join right now. And you can still get the replays from yesterday and the day before. Okay. Now, if you want to write a book, now I'm going to share with you a couple of examples. And guys, please, out of respect for your time, there's no way I can get into all these details. Even if I'm giving you an hour every day for the next 2 weeks, I can't cram 30 years into that. But I'm going to give you as much value as I possibly can, because the most important thing I can instill in you right now is to give you hope. By the end of this call and the calls we do every day, I want to peel back the curtain and I want to show you what's possible. And I really want you to feel hopeful. And I can't tell you how excited I am. Like, oh my gosh, my own big, hairy, audacious goals this year is I'm so excited. I don't even want to say it out loud, because you know how that is when something so exciting is happening and it hasn't happened yet and you don't want to jinx it, right? But like, I have some huge media contacts and I have been helping everybody else plug into media, and I haven't even been focusing on my own. And that's a goal and a list. And for me is to build my own list and build my own brand, because I've been a writer and I've been a journalist for many years. But here's the cool thing. You don't have to be a writer, a journalist. You don't have to. Now you've got AI. You can write articles, blogs, headlines, books with AI. It's incredible. Okay. We're seeing people write books in a few hours and it's their voice. Okay. It's just framework that you can use to make it easier for you and stop making excuses about it. You don't even have to be a writer. You could be full-blown dyslexic and still be able to write a book or create a signature speech. Some of you are like, oh, I can't speak in front of other people. And here's the deal. If you want to make impact, you can't be invisible. Okay. If I have one more person that tells me, I want to write a book, but I don't want to use my real name and I don't do social media and I want to hide out, guess what? That doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay. I'm sorry, but it doesn't work. If you're going to be a voice, you've got to have courage and you've got to stand for something. And that means you might upset people. If you are a Christian and you talk about being a Christian openly, you might offend other people who aren't. You might offend Jewish people or Catholic people. You might offend an atheist, but guess what? That's who you are. And you can still show up and be a Christian in your business and be faith-based and still work with people who don't have that same belief system. Or you can take a stand and say, I'm only going to work with other Christians. You might say, I'm a woman and I only want to help other women who are Christians walk in faith. Okay. There's tons of people. I mean, I have a friend that's a coach and a trainer named Pedro. He, you might have heard of Pedro. He has the Christian kingdom. He does kingdom coaching. And he coaches people about how to be in alignment as a Christian and with faith and with God, right? And make a lot of money. And what he taught me is that there's 4,000 phrases in the Bible about money. 4,000 phrases. They talk about money more than anything else, because you can't make an impact without it. Mother Teresa, she was a pretty amazing woman. We would all agree, right? She's a saint. Do y'all know she built $100 million organization? She wrote over 30 books. She wrote tons of articles, and she did it all with love, out of just loving people. And her connection to people is what created that platform for her. And she didn't do it out of ego. She didn't do it for money. She did it because she knew she had to monetize her mission. She knew that without money and she wouldn't be able to help these churches or the poor. And guess what? She came from money. She walked away from a life of wealth and went into the poorest areas of the world in Calcutta, India, and loved people and served people. So you can make money and you can have love. You don't have to be either or. And if you are showing up in your life and you're working hard and you're not seeing results, it's a leadership issue. Okay. And that's one of the most important things that we coach on and we help other people is how to become a better leader. You've got to be a leader for yourself and your body to get your health right. You have to be the leader of yourself and your heart and your relationships to attract the right person. You have to be a leader as a parent to your kids. You have to be a leader in your business if you're going to hire people. I mean, Amber's here on this call. Amber's been with me for 8 or 9 years. Sometimes I fail miserably as a leader and she still hasn't quit. So she's taught me a lot about being a leader. And there's times she says, I need a manager. I need someone to manage me. I need you to hold me accountable to this. Now, how many of you have ever bought a program and never finished it? Right? How many of you have bought a program and never finished it, admittedly, or you bought a book and never read it? Okay. Or you downloaded a podcast with the intention of listening to it and you got busy, or you even signed up for a program and then you had 5 other programs you committed to that were all live and there was no replay and you're just like, oh, well. So guess what? You've all lost a lot of money and you've lost potential to make money because you didn't follow through, because half the battle is just showing up. So if there's 1,400 people that got an invitation to be here today and only 14 showed up, or 50 or 100, those are the people that are making it a priority. You guys are the ones who are showing up. Some of you are like, oh, I have to work, or, I'm going to watch it later. I'm going to watch the replay. That's okay, as long as you commit to doing that. Because I'm showing up and I'm committing to my time. And you know what? There are days where I'm just tired. I'm exhausted. I'm overwhelmed as well. But the people, how many of you are overwhelmed? Put an O in the chat. I mean, let's just be real. If you feel overwhelmed, where are my overwhelmed friends? Put an O in the chat. It's okay. If you're overwhelmed, it's usually because you have some type of an intimacy issue, right? With yourself, with your team. It's a relationship thing. And I know how to solve that because I've been overwhelmed and I still get overwhelmed sometimes. And I use my own tools that I teach you guys to help keep me in check. Yesterday, I was triggered big time. I went to church. One of my close friends and ministers lost his adult son a few weeks ago. And that same minister was in the room with me when my son died. And his son was at my son's funeral years ago. And that family and that church was there for me at my darkest hour. And I got to go to their funeral and I got to hand Mitch and Joni my book. I got to hand them my book of resources, of hope. And you know what's interesting is yesterday at church, he was talking about all these influences that are helping him through grief. And he was preaching and he could barely get through the sermon without crying. And everybody in the room was crying because that vulnerability connected so strongly with people. And he was talking about all these books that had influenced him. And he was talking about Brene Brown and all these famous authors and all these people. And it was just fascinating to see how much you can inspire people with your words. If I hadn't worked years ago to get that book finished, it wouldn't have impacted thousands of people. I never dreamed I'd be handing him a book. Rita Gladding, one of our authors, she bought my book and gave it to everybody that lost a child. She was such a supporter as a local person in my community. I know her. I love her. We're dear friends. When her own son died, I showed up at her funeral. I handed her the envelope with the book and she said, nope, I know what this is. I know what you're giving me because I've given it to everybody else. And I can't even believe that this is my life now, but I'm so grateful to have this. And you know what? She went on to write her own book. She tried to go out and get published because she had all these friends that were like highly educated writers and people that went to like all these schools with more degrees than their thermometer. And they were giving her advice. Oh, talk to my publisher. Oh, talk to my editor. She even spent money hiring a bunch of people. She got nowhere. In fact, one major editor told her, no one cares about your dead son. No one wants to read a story about your dead son. It's like a private diary. And she was so harsh that Rita was depressed and literally cried for months and like went underground and just like, I'm done. I can't put myself out there. It's too painful. For 2 years, she went through that. She called me a year ago, last April, Said, I'm ready. What do I need to do? I said, if you do this, 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 and this, we'll have your book done in a month. I said, our next launch is May 8th. And she started crying. I said, what? She goes, that's Gavin's birthday, May 8th. And I'm like, well, sounds like he's trying to help you out. And she was a superstar. She did everything we told her. She went out, tested her titles. She started promoting her book. She started doing pre-sales. She made money on that book before it ever launched. And she has now sold so many books, like at least 1,000, maybe more. I don't even know anymore, because she is a dynamic woman. She was on the news media several times. She's been featured. Her goal is Good Morning America and Oprah. I know how to do that, guys. I have those producers in my back pocket. I'm a journalist. I've owned magazines for 30 years. Guess what? You don't have to have any of those. I do. You just need to connect and plug in with me, and I will plug you in where you need to go. This is why I'm saying whatever your goal and dream is the next 90 days, we can help you. So I want to share with you something that we're doing, because if you own a business and you don't have a book, you could be losing 6 figures a year. Okay. If you just want to share a story, a family recipe, you want to feel compelled to get your story out there and you want to learn how to do it. And I'm not making an income claim, because I don't know. I can't guarantee you're going to make a certain amount of money, but I will tell you that Sharon Cohen, many of you know Sharon, came to us a few years ago. She had written a book, hadn't done much with it, wrote a book, became international #1 best-selling author with us, and has now written 7 books with our company in the last 2 years. And her last book, she made over $50,000 before she wrote one word. And English is her second language, by the way. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask Sharon to be on this call tomorrow, because I want her to tell you what's happened since this. And she is a coach in our company, and she is coaching on a call tomorrow morning before this call. I'm going to just have her stick around. So you'll get to see her and meet her tomorrow. So make sure you tune in for that, because you will want to hear from her. She's amazing. In fact, she got seen by all these people and hired by Tony Robbins. Just like I was hired by my mentor, Tony Robbins, my mentor for 20 years, hired me to mentor his people. Mark Victor Hansen, who was my mentor for Chicken Soup for the Soul, offered me a position at his company. I'm like, I have my own business. I'm building my own publishing company. I'm sorry, I had to say no. It was a great opportunity, a lot of money. I knew I could help him, but I was already on my own path. I couldn't do it. And my book was with his company. I had a book with his company that was going to be published. And then they sold their company and all the rights and everything went with it. And I had to start all over again. Even though I had a major publisher, I took too long to finish my book. This is why I want you guys to do it in the next 90 days. So I have something that's going to help. We're doing a challenge, an 8-week challenge that starts April 8th. For the next 8 weeks, we're going to show you everything you need to do to get your book written, to finish it, to fund it, to self-promote it, to self-publish it. It costs nothing to self-publish. You just need to know the process, guys. You don't have to spend a lot of money on this. And I'm going to put that offer in the chat. I'm going to put a link where you guys can sign up for that. Okay. It's only $1,100. It's $1,111. I love angel numbers, or 2 payments of $650. So if you want, we can even finance it for you. 2 payments. This is nothing, you guys. Now, some of you are already in our program. Maybe you're doing our annual program. If you're getting value, you guys getting value? I hope you're getting value from this. If you're getting value, put value in the chat. Okay. Because here's the deal. If you're getting value, like some of you that joined our, make 50 ways to make money the next 7 days. Some of you have already made money in 2 days from that. Okay. So what I want to show you is how to grow that now. Right. So imagine if you're learning just in 1 hour, what you could learn by spending the next 2 months with us like this every day, every week. Every week we have live calls like this and live coaching, but we go deeper. I can't get into all the details here. We don't have time. Okay. But I want to show you how to do this. My friend who is, some of you go, oh, I don't have time to write a book. BS. Let me tell you something. My good friend, Jennifer, she owns a credit repair company. Okay. We were at dinner a few weeks ago, and I said to her, because she gave me some great tips that really helped me grow my business, my credit lines and everything for my business. And it was life-changing, life-changing. She just gave me one tip that ended up helping me get over 200,000 in credit lines. Wouldn't you like to know what that one tip is? Go read her book. I'm just kidding. I'll share that with you, not today, maybe in a different training, we'll talk about money and finances. But right now, I want to use her as an example. We sat there at dinner. She goes, I don't have time to write a book. I said, could you put together a list of like 10 things you need to do right now to change your credit score in the next 30 days? No fluff, just write out the advice. She said, yeah. I said, then could you take those points and expand on them and maybe introduce a tool and then teach people how to use the tool and then a testimonial like mine? She said, sure. So she did 10 steps. Guess what? Those became 10 chapters. She starts filling in the tools. She's got 10 tools. She has like 50 tools. You're not giving all your tools away in one book. You don't have enough room. But nobody wants to read a book that's, 200 ways to fix your credit. That's way too much work. Maybe 5 steps, 5 things you need to do right now to fix your credit. So let me show you what happens with that. She went back and wrote that book in 2 hours. 2 hours. And then she could expand it and put some blanks in it, ask questions, leave space for a blank, and now it becomes a workbook. She could launch it as an ebook, as a short reads ebook, hit #1 on the bestseller list. Now she's a best-selling author. And if she wants it in print, she could make it a workbook where it's interactive. You don't even have a workbook. You don't even have to write very much. You just ask questions and give them space to answer, and they can write in it, and you make it an 8.5 by 11. This is not hard, you guys. Don't make it harder than it has to be. Because nobody wants to read, nobody wants a 2-hour masterclass, but they want the content. They don't want the fluff. They just want the context and the content now, right? That's the key. Oh, let me plug in I got to plug in my computer real quick or we're going to die. I don't want to lose y'all. Don't you love it when you outlast your devices? You have so much energy. We don't have to be plugged in. I mean, we do have to recharge every night our own batteries, right? But it's funny how much I outlast all my devices. Like I can go all day before I have to plug in and reset, right? But it's important to do that too. So here's the deal. I helped her and I gave her the framework. And this is what I want to do in VIP with some of you. I gave her the framework. Okay, here's what you do. Step 1, then step 2, then you do this. Then we're going to build your social media followers. How many of you would love to grow your social media followers? Okay, we did something. We found a formula that worked for us because everything we offer you, we've already tested. Okay, we did a beta test on our own account back in January. We started a new page. We started with 1,100 followers. Within 2 weeks, we're at 5,000 followers. How'd you like to grow your list that way? Right? How'd you like to grow your list? How many of you have a list of more than 10,000 people on it? Probably not very many of you. Maybe you have a social media following with 10,000, but guess what? When you post on social media, nobody sees it. So what you do is you build your list, and you build your list by writing a book, okay? And it becomes a lead magnet, it becomes a list builder, it becomes a client conversion model, it becomes a speaker platform. It helps you get more clients. It builds authority, credibility. This is the cornerstone of what we do, you guys. You create an asset that builds residual income for the rest of your life. My dad's 86 years young. He's got 4 books now. He makes several $1,000s a month in passive income, no social media, no paid ads, no promotion. He wrote the book people want to read. And he's a best-selling author. And Amazon promotes his book now because he sold so many books. Isn't that cool? And we also researched the keywords and categories, and we made sure, and with Google and Amazon, we found the words that people were using for that type of book, and we made sure we put it in the title. Duh. That's common sense, you guys. But guess what? Common sense ain't so common. I think Abraham Lincoln said that. And none of us are born knowing how to do this. So how do you learn it? You learn it from a mentor. And this is what I love about our whole company. The lifeblood of our company is you can come in and plug in with us, and you can find a mentor to teach you how to do any of these things we talked about today. You plug into our community. It's not just me. I'm not the know-it-all telling you how to do all this stuff. There are hundreds of experts, best-selling authors, coaches, speakers who've spoken all over the world on major stages that are trainers with our company, or that have an offer or a solution for you. You can read their book, you can take a quick course, or you can hire them to show you what to do. I have paid people a lot of money. I've paid people as much as $5,000 or $10,000 a day to do a VIP day with them to learn how to do something quickly. So what you're doing is you're paying for speed. If you have any amount of knowledge, like my credit repair friend, right? She already has the knowledge. She has the team. She just needs the pieces to put together. So it's write a book, use the book as a lead magnet to build your list, market to your list, get that list to go to social media. Social media is the platform that you use to broadcast. But last Thursday, I woke up and I got a notice that said my Facebook account was locked. I panicked, like, what would you do? My whole business and life is in Facebook. It was scary. And it was like, you have suspicious activity and all these BS things that happen sometimes when you're running ads. And it's kind of scary to think about how that could happen. And I have a lockdown Facebook account. Like you can't hack it. It's hard. But it was Facebook protecting me. The same way if your credit card company sees a sketchy thing, then they lock down your card until you call them. You can't call Facebook. But I went through the steps. I panicked for about a minute. And I hadn't even gotten out of bed yet, y'all. I mean, some days, and I'm sure this happens to you guys, you pick up your phone before you even get out of bed, which is a horrible habit, by the way. And all the bad news comes in and you haven't even gotten out of freaking bed yet. You haven't even had coffee yet. I mean, and you want to talk about successful morning routines? I know some of the greatest entrepreneurs on the planet that are doing over 100 million a year. I know their routines. You want to know their routines? You want to be like them? You do what they do. They have discipline. And guess what? They track everything. They track everything. We're going to go through that training in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to give you how to track and how to develop pricing for whatever you want to do. We're going to go through that this week. We might even do that tomorrow. But that's why when I ask you guys a question and I ask you to put comments in the chat, I want to see what you need. So I show up and give you what you need. Some of these things I have planned out training, some of them I don't. Today is about what is your goal for the next 90 days? And what do you need to do for the next 7 in order to hit that goal? Because who do you need to be today to get that outcome tomorrow? See how cool that is? That's how it works. Okay, so writing a book, 10 ways to grow your business, writing a book. I'm going to go through these really quickly. And I'm not going to do slides or any of that. I don't have time to get into actual trainings and too much slides out of respect for time, because I want to keep this in a very short amount of time, but I want you to know the value of why you need to write a book and why I'm giving you this opportunity to do it so cheap. Some of you may say, hey, I can do it myself. I'm going to keep my cost down. I'm going to give you the bare bones of how to do this. No excuses, no explanations, just get her done. And we're going to hold you accountable, because the bonus of that course, normally it's a do-it-yourself. It's 8 weeks. You go pay and do it and you figure it out. I'm giving you 2 months of free training, free coaching. That's a $4,000 bonus. So if you can't come up with $1,100 today and you only come up with $650, do it. Now, some of you on this call in my VIP, you're already clients. You're already in for the annual program. This doesn't apply to you. You don't have to pay anything extra. You're already in. And some of you already know how cool this program is, right? You already know how well this works. You're already seeing transformation in your own life in just a short amount of time. And so this is what I want to have you understand is the ways that you can grow a business with a book. You can build your credibility quickly. You can build authority. And one of my favorite examples of this is J. Conrad Levinson. He wrote the book Guerrilla Marketing. You remember that book? Came out like 20-something years ago. Somebody asked him how much money he made from his first book. And the answer he gave was $10 million. The book itself only paid $35,000 in royalties. He had a traditional publisher. He only got maybe $1 a book. Okay, maybe $2 a book. That means he only sold like 17,000 copies if he was getting $2 a book. You guys do the math on that, right? But the speaking engagements, spin-off books, newsletters, columns, boot camps, consulting, and wide open doors resulted in the remaining $9,965,000. That's what I want to teach you guys how to do. And when you write a book, guess what? You have content forever. I have hundreds of hours of content. But when I write a book or I write a certain subject, I pull things from that book and that becomes blogs, articles. I've been featured in a lot of media, Fortune, Forbes, Entrepreneur, right? Right now, I'm not going to jinx it, but I'm saying I have a conversation going with Oprah, with her people, about doing a syndicated column. And here's what's cool. It's called Defining Moments, which is the name of our company. We have multiple books, just like Chicken Soup for the Soul, which isn't really around anymore. It's not the same. They sold it all. It's not Mark and Jack anymore. It's somebody else that owns it. It's not the same energy. It's not the same person going out and driving with their heart and soul like those guys did. They still have their business, their coaching and everything, but it's a different model now because they sold the rights to their company, right? So our company is Defining Moments. It's a trademark brand. We are the new Chicken Soup for the Soul. We have a lot of faith-based stories. We have people that share, like our Angels Among Us book has done extremely well. We've sold thousands of copies since that came out on 12/12. And we want to show you how to do it because we've done it. And you guys have all seen the receipts, right? I'm a receipts girl. I want to show you the receipts. Like I want to, we'll talk about this in more detail another day, but I want to show you how you can do this. All right. So there are 3 ways that a book can build or expand your business. It can be a list builder. You give your book away in exchange for an email, phone number, or contact, and you start building a relationship. Okay. It can be a speaker platform. As an author, you have instant credibility and authority. If you want to get booked more as a speaker, write a book and especially become a bestseller. You can leverage your book as part of your speaker fees. You can sell books when you speak for added revenue, or you can give your book away if you have a business or service or coaching platform or mentorship on the back end of the book. So you can give your book away and still make over $100,000 a year easily. You can also be a speaker on stages and speak for free and still make $100,000 a year. Those are things we already know how to do, and we're doing them every day. And our clients are doing them every day. So this is the stuff we already know how to do. This is nothing compared to like what you need to know. These are basics, okay? It can be a client conversion model. With our formula, we found that 20 to 30% of the people will reach out to work with you in some way if you write the book they want to read, not just the book you want to write. As a best-selling author, you're viewed to as the go-to expert. This is hilarious. Can you guys see who's calling me? Is Jennifer, my credit repair friend I was just telling you about. So I forgot to turn my phone off. Sorry, Jen, I can't take the call right now. But isn't that weird how the universe works? You're just talking about something or someone, and then all of a sudden, boom, there they are, right? So with her, I gave her this outline and structure, exactly what I'm sharing with you guys. And it was in a matter of 20 minutes, like boom, 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 boom. You have the structure, you have the framework, this is what you need to do. That's it, right? And then it becomes much easier to do this. Like if you can do it in a few hours, you don't need years to do it, and you don't need somebody else's permission, because by the time you write the book, you're the expert on it. Okay. Think about this question. What do you want your book to do for you? Put it in the chat. What do you want your book to do for you? Do you want it to grow your list? Do you want it to help you get more clients? Do you want to write a book to share your grandmother's story, become your legacy? Like my dad, who wrote Bible study lessons. He's been an attorney for 60 years. He could have written a book about how to be a successful attorney. He's also invested in a lot of real estate, and he's made way more money in real estate than being an attorney. He could have written about that. He's taught Little League Baseball. He's coached for 50 years. He could certainly write about those things, but he wanted his book to be a legacy. He wants people to be reading his book 20, 30 years from now, 100 years from now, like his mentors, Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich, right? And Dale Carnegie. When I was born, my dad was teaching Dale Carnegie classes. When I was 15 years old, I got in trouble for taking the car when I wasn't 16 yet. And I still was kind of getting my permit. I was supposed to have an adult in the car, but I took the car by myself because I wanted to feel like an adult. I wanted that freedom, that power. Remember that when you guys first started driving? Do you remember that feeling of, wow, this is power? I just wanted that. And I wanted to feel like an adult. So I took the car and went to my sister's house and did laundry. I wanted to feel like an adult. It was dumb, but I got busted. I got in trouble. And my dad made me read Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That was my punishment. I was grounded until I read that book. Every chapter, I had to read a chapter and report back to him. It was the dorkiest thing. I was so annoyed. Like, can't you just ground me like everybody else? But that was a turning point in my life. And he didn't make his other kids do that. I was special. He did it for me because somehow he must have known that it would help me. It would ground me, right? It would make a difference in my life. And who knew I would grow up to have this self-help company that's influenced millions of people, that help hundreds of people write their books, self-help books, business development, nonfiction, all kinds of books, children's books, recipe books. I never knew I would grow up and be a publisher, and that I would use these tools and it would change my life forever when I was 15 years old. Because of that mentality and the things I learned about positive thinking, I went out and got my first job. My first job interview, I walked into a radio station and I got hired at 15 years old in high school as a DJ on the radio because of what I learned in those books, y'all. Okay? Think about this. It wasn't magic. It was math, because I was doing the work and I was showing up and I was listening and I was absorbing like a sponge. I started reading all these books like Think and Grow Rich and Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking. Richard and I were talking about this the other day, how he became a mentor to his daughter, Tiffany, and Tiffany's doing amazing things in her life. My dad was my mentor. He's my hero. Still is. My favorite human. Like, I learned so much from my dad, and I value being able to spend time with him. Every week he gets on a live call and does a Bible study, because we don't know how much time he has left in the world. None of us have any day that's promised. And we get to document his Bible study lessons that he's teaching, and we're recording it and putting it on our YouTube channel for him. And that's helping him sell books, but it's also helping him connect as an expert. Where now he gets speaking engagements and opportunities. He may not even want to do them, but he's getting offers of people who want to buy his book on a retail basis and resell it at their church and have their entire congregation do a Bible study. It's amazing what can happen, right? When you just put things out there. So in the chat, what do you want your book to do for you? Grow your list, get you more clients, build a speaker platform, all of the above. I want to know, what do you want this to do for you? Because it can help you get more referrals. It can help you get media coverage. It even helps you get a TV deal. I mean, all these things have happened to me, to my clients. I mean, I've seen it. It can help you grow your business very quickly. There's a ton of examples on that. It can help you launch a new business or revenue stream. It can help you if you're trying to franchise your company or get funding and get credibility. It can help you build a movement or a mission. It can give you more authority. It can help you gain global attention and become a global expert. You might be a local yokel helping local people, and within 90 days, you can become a global expert like that. One article, one book, one big thing that's going to build your platform of expertise. And instead of speaking one-on-one, you're speaking one to many. Your book can reach thousands of people every day because people buy it, they share it, they talk about it. Then you start plugging that into podcasts where you're speaking to hundreds or thousands of people at once, or you get on stages, on virtual stages, or better, you get featured in the media. I mean, we write one article. I own media companies. I own my own magazines. Like, I get people featured all the time. Like, I write articles. We have our Defining Moments article that's featured in our own magazines that go all over the US and Canada to affluent people. I get business from that. And now it gets the attention of people like Oprah and other people that want to do syndication. And here's what's cool. You can write one little article on a little blog in a small little unknown thing, and it's called syndication because they share it. So some of these small like companies will share with like Forbes and Fortune and Entrepreneur and Psychology Today. Like, they'll syndicate it, they'll share it, and it gets picked up by all these other organizations. And the next thing you know, your article about your book or your expertise is all over the world. We had a client that was featured in Entrepreneur. In his fourth quarter, he picked up 200,000 people on his list. Can you imagine out of 4 million people that saw the article? It's crazy. A book can help you get more clients, more speaking gigs. It can even save lives. Can't even tell you how many people have come out to me and said they're alive because of one of our books. That just makes me so happy every day. And I think about, for those of you that are afraid, you're making excuses. I don't have time to write a book. I don't know what to write. Like, that is all BS. That's all limited beliefs. And that stuff goes away because clarity stops overwhelm in its tracks. When you have clarity, we can get you clarity. I mean, we can help you get clarity in less than an hour. You'll know what you should write about, who you should write about, or who it's for, how much you can make, how to write it, launch it, market it, even before it's written. How to make money today, day one, before your book's even written. It's amazing what you can do, but all that's in the program. I don't have time to push all that in here today, but we're starting an 8-week challenge because some of you who wrote book and you want to get a book done, or those that are already in the book program, we're going to do it this quarter. We're going to get it done in the next 8 weeks. It's amazing, especially with AI technology. It can help you a lot faster than you think. You don't even have to be a writer anymore. Okay. It can bring people together, like my dad's Bible studies. It can help you get featured. Okay. We grew over 1,000% in the first year that my book came out. We've helped hundreds of people write books in over 300 different industries, from divorce, fitness, legal, finance, parenting, healing, so many others. And now I have an entire team that's dedicated to helping business owners leverage their knowledge and expertise to grow their business with a book. You don't even have to be a business owner, but let's just say you're a realtor and you're making $200,000 a year and you've been doing it for 20 years. There are thousands of people coming into the real estate world trying to get their license that have no clue how to make $200,000 a year. I know, because my son's 21 and a lot of his friends are trying to become realtors because they think they're going to make money. They have no idea how to market themselves. None. And they don't teach you that in the real estate world, right? So if you can teach somebody how to do that, you can write a book. We help you create a course. Maybe you charge $2,000 for it. Do you think that you could find 20 people in the next 90 days who might want to learn about how to make $200,000 as a realtor? There are 3,000 realtors in my city alone. There are hundreds of thousands of people in this country that are trying to be realtors making 20 grand a year that would love to 10x their money. And guess what? They'll pay $2,000 from you to learn how to do it because you've done it and because you've written a book on it as the expert and you created a course. And guess what? It can be automated. You can do private coaching. You can do one-on-one. You could do an automated course where they buy the book and then they go buy the course and you don't even have to talk to anybody. It's crazy. There's so many different ways to make money. It's not even funny. You just have to create value for people. When you create value, it doesn't cost anything, right? So there's so many different ways to go through this. I don't want to get into too many details today, but I'm going to leave this where we're at because there's literally 10 different steps you can do, right? And I don't have time to get into the details about it. So I'm going to save this for another day of the 10 things that you can do to grow your business with a book. Is that fair enough? You guys okay? You'll join me for another day to get those details because I know we're going to run out of time today, but I just want to reiterate, like, my whole life in business exploded when I wrote my book. It was life-changing. And I want you guys to have that opportunity. And I don't want money or time or excuses or BS to get in the way. Okay. Because it's all BS. It's all BS. It's all limited belief. And it's all these thoughts of who am I? Imposter syndrome. Why should I write a book? There's a lot of books out there. I've heard it all. But every day, I see more and more people launching their books and making money, especially when you plug into the media and you plug into podcasts. And guess what? We have these coaches they're decision makers in some of these spaces, and they come into our groups. If they run a podcast, they'll come in and pitch their podcast to get our people booked on their podcast if it's a good fit. We can plug you in. I get over 100 emails a day from journalists looking for experts in their stories because they know that we have best-selling authors. It is way easier for them to find credible experts to come to me as a book publisher. But I don't publish your book as a traditional publisher and take 90%. I show you how to publish your own book, and we're going to coach you through it so you keep 100% of your profits. Okay, that's the difference. And everything you make, you keep. We don't take any of it. We don't take your royalties. We don't take a percentage of your business. We just coach you and teach you to be successful. We make our money from our coaching and from different courses and different offers that we have. And I want to show you how to do the same thing, where you're training and you're helping and you're giving valuable information, but you also have to be able to make an offer, right? You got to be able to make money every single day in a business. You can't just make an offer once a year and expect people to flood through and then not serve them the rest of the year. It's a mistake that a lot of people make. Even the big gurus, they do one big event with millions of people and then you don't hear from them for a whole year. It's like crickets. And you're like, oh, I thought that person died, or, oh, where'd that? Oh, now they're back because they have another offer, right? That's not a relationship. That's not going to move the needle for you. Nothing wrong with them. And they make millions doing it, but it's about daily tracking, daily accountability. That's how you move the needle and get results. This is what our clients do. They come in and work with us and we hold you accountable. So guys, we may never offer this again. This offer ends April 8th. Okay. That's it. After that, it won't be available. You won't even be able to click on the link. So if you're going to do it, take advantage and know that we do have limited spots for this program because we can't possibly do it for thousands of people. We only have so many coaches and so many hours in the day for one-on-one calls and group calls. There's only so much we can do at capacity. And we want to make sure that we have that ability to help you guys. If you're somebody that says, oh, the online thing is great, but I don't want to buy a program that I know I'm not going to finish. I need somebody to hold me accountable in person, and I want to come hang out with you in person. Okay, then you can come and join me at my private home in Yosemite. I'm heading up there this week it's spring break in California, right? I bought my dream home after I lost everything, and I lost 2 houses. I went through bankruptcy, foreclosure, everything. I manifested my dream home, and I bought it during the pandemic. And now it's amazing. We do retreats up there. It's my escape. It's where I go to write. It's my personal space. And I'm so proud to share it with you guys. Richard's coming. JP is coming there. You're going to get to see it. I'm so excited. You guys are both on the VIP call today, and you're getting to meet each other here on the call. That's so exciting. And so the idea is you can come and hang out with me for 3 days, and I'm going to teach you everything about writing your book. And you're going to get that other course we just talked about. You'll get that free. Okay. That's only $2,500. And we're doing a 3-day speaker workshop for $2,500. And we're doing a 3-day author workshop for $2,500. Or the smart people like Richard are coming for the whole week, and you're going to learn both. And you're going to get all the other trainings and everything included in that. So take advantage of that. Micah is going to put those links in the chat on Facebook and also in our Zoom. So if you don't have that, if you haven't committed to that and you want to hit these goals, maybe you want to be a speaker, you want to start a coaching practice, or you want to become an author and get your book done in the next 90 days, this will hold you accountable. You will get it done. And this event is coming up next month in May. All right. So go to those links and check them out. If you have questions, you can email us, support@mydefiningmoments.com. We can hop on a call with you. Anybody on our team, myself or anybody else, depending on your schedule, we can hop on a team and answer your questions about that event. I would love to meet you and get to know your energy and what your goals are, and see where we might figure out what's the best idea for you. Where are you at? Even if you have no money. And by the way, you should all have money after that training we did the other day. If you don't, go back and watch it for free in the replay here in this Facebook page. If you're VIP, you're going to get the replay. Okay. So that's it. This is what I wanted you to have for today. And one thing I want you to remember, we talked about the Bible. We talked about being a Christian. We talked about leading with faith. One thing that my minister, Mitch, said the other day at church that really blew my mind is he said, everything that we read in the Bible was written by authors. All of these disciples were authors. None of them consider themselves writers. We may not even consider themselves writers. But when you look at Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, that was the last week of Jesus's life. That was a very valuable insight. And they witnessed this person, this real person that came here and had these experiences. And it wasn't that Jesus, he only spoke to so many people in his lifetime, but it was the value of his disciples that became authors and shared the stories that have transformed a life and a whole movement and Christianity, and have kept it alive for thousands of years because of stories from authors who witnessed something firsthand, nonfiction. That's what I want for you guys, to build something so powerful. Dale Carnegie, it's been 100 years since he wrote these books, and we're still reading them, and we're still applying these tools. Isn't that amazing? Long after he's gone. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. His book's in public domain now. It's crazy. Shakespeare's work is in public domain, yet it's outlived them. It's become their legacy. Some of you may not even know how to write a book. Guess what? Little secret, you can take other people's stuff that's in public domain and you can make it your own. You can actually create a book. You can put all of Shakespeare's stuff in one book and publish it yourself and draw income off of it without writing anything. We can help you do that. You want to join this program? We're going to show you exactly how to do that, whether you write anything or not. How many of you would love to make passive income the rest of your life, like my dad and so many other people, by doing the work once? You spend a few hours creating these materials. You don't have to have an inventory, a warehouse. You don't have to hire people. You don't have to pay other people. You basically put it out there And this book makes money the rest of your life and beyond your life, and could even be 100 years after you live, and a legacy for your children, right? That's generational wealth. That's what I want for you guys. There's many ways to build that, through real estate, through these products, all of this kind of stuff. So this is what I want you guys the takeaway that I want you to have today. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up with all of you, my beautiful friends here on Facebook, just checking in with you guys and seeing the comments here. Oops, I need to turn this down. Perfect. Okay. And Micah, would you please post on the Facebook page as well, the retreat information and the link for the author blueprint. That's our 8-week challenge that starts April 8th. Okay. And this price and this special bonus, a $4,000 bonus of live coaching for 2 months. I'm talking like every day, every week, we have live coaching like this for the next 8 weeks. That has never been included ever in that program before. And we're going to do it now. I don't know if we'll ever do it again. So please take me up on it. And if you need money to pay your taxes in the next 2 weeks, this is how you can get it, right? You can make an offer to your list. You can grow your list very quickly. You can do a media article and get featured tomorrow. All this is in our training. It's all part of it. You're going to learn how to do all of this stuff in that one training. It's beyond just the book. It's how to get booked on media, how to do podcasts, how to get speaking stuff. It's all wrapped up in that one 8-week course. Okay. So, all right. So just a quick reminder, those of you that are wanting to do the book program, I just want to see you put book in the chat, because I want to make sure that we connect with you and make sure you have what you need. If you have questions, you need to talk to somebody, then we can book a time to chat with you about it. Amber's here. She's on our team. There's other people that are willing to help you. Micah is our project manager. So some of you may or may not know Micah, but she's going to help you track your materials and all that kind of stuff. So if you don't have a book yet, but you know you have a book in you, you looked in the mirror and said, I should really write a book. This is your time. This is your quarter. No matter what your goal is, writing a book, taking your business to the next level, hitting your swimsuit body, finding that relationship, improving your health, today's the best day to start. Yesterday was a better day, but today is the next best day to start on this right now, because you're going to have to make some choices and decisions in the next 7 days that is going to impact whether or not you hit that outcome in this quarter. Do you guys get that? And here's the deal. You have to make it work up here. You've got to get your head on straight first in order to change something out there. It has to happen here as vision and a thought and a belief before you will take the action. Because if you don't have vision and belief, and you don't have a plan, and you don't believe that it's possible, then you're never going to go out and take the action. You're going to sabotage yourself every time. So let me ask you one question before we end our special training and go into our VIPs. Take a second. I want you guys to just take a second, take a deep breath. Some of you, that might have been the deepest breath you've taken all day. Do you feel hopeful? I just have that question for you. Do you feel hopeful? If so, put it in the chat. Hopeful. Do you see that this is possible? That's all I want for you, is to realize you can write your book. You can write it in a few hours. Even if you spend 3 or 4 hours a week, you can spend in 30 to 40 hours, you can do it. Guys, let me put this in perspective. In the same amount of time, you could go binge watch the entire season of Love Island. That's not going to grow your life or your business or hit your goals. Okay. You could watch maybe 2 seasons of Yellowstone. And I know it's addictive. Don't even start watching it, but make that your reward. Okay. You go do this, do the things you don't want to do, the things you have to do, you must do, so you can do the things you want to do. If you hit a goal and you're tracking it, and then you hit that goal, then you can take off the rest of the day and go watch Yellowstone. But I know that when you don't know what you want to do, and you don't have clarity, and you don't take action, and you start getting depressed, and you just go start binge watching Netflix because you don't know what else to do with your time, and you don't have that direction, that's a horrible feeling, because you're wasting the most valuable commodity that we all have, which is time. And we all have the same 24 hours in a day. This is going to help you with your leadership to show up and be accountable to the things you say you want. And we're going to hold you accountable as a group, so you're not in it alone. Okay, that's how we know it's going to work. This is why we have a 100% success rate, people. Every one of our speakers that's getting certified is going to end up getting booked as a speaker, even if we hire them. I can't wait for you to meet them and hear about their stories and their success and how they can help you. Because I can't do all this by myself. No way. I need more of you. I need you to be speakers. I need you guys to be plugged into the media. Guess what? I get offered speaking gigs every day. I can't possibly do it all myself. And instead of just saying, oh, no, thanks, I'm not available, I'd much rather say, I got 10 people certified that are trained. Boom, here's their specialty. If someone says, I need a fitness expert for an article, that's not me. I'm not a fitness expert. Okay. I'm not an expert at a lot of things, but I still get to write articles about them sometimes. I'd much rather plug you guys into those areas. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and end our live broadcast right now. Thank you guys. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 Central, and 1 p.m. Eastern. So I'm going to go ahead and stop and sign off on our live and jump into our VIP real quick for some private coaching. So you VIP stick around. If you want to join VIP, click on the link in the chat and you can join VIP. You can do it right now and come join us in the Zoom room and we can do some deeper coaching, very specifics for you in that VIP. So take care, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.